Hello, welcome to this week's Wild Spirits News. My name is Sibylle, and today I ask you, do you have the discipline to get what you want? I once had a client who said, I just have no discipline whatsoever, and she went on to explain how she often starts a project and then doesn't see it through, falls off the wagon, and it's a tale that is quite familiar to many of us. I'm the first person to admit that I can be rather flaky. So what's the conclusion? Are we doomed to lives of mediocrity? Are we doomed to never achieving our dreams, to keep our passions as a hobby? Do you see, actually, discipline isn't something that you are born with. Nobody's born with discipline or without it. In fact, discipline is an action, or rather a repeated series of actions, and it can be trained just like a muscle. So your mission today is to find out, to learn how discipline can be easily achievable for you based on your personality and your character. Task number 1 is called, what's your discipline habit? Now, since discipline is not a character trait but an action, it is based on, you'll keep hearing me repeat this, it is based on habits which are based on your beliefs and your subconscious programming, which consists of your beliefs. I had a previous episode, and I'm going to link it in the description below and in the abstract if you're on my website, if you're watching this from my website. I had an article once about self-discipline, and I identified 3 different types of self-discipline. I call them iron discipline, somebody who will just push themselves relentlessly to discipline. No discipline, people who had basically given up on themselves because they just didn't believe they could ever have any discipline. And people who kept trying and failing, who kept making efforts to be disciplined and then falling off the wagon again. So these are the 3 discipline types. Now, your task number 1 is to remember this. You can watch or read the abstract of the previous episode to remind yourself, and to keep in mind which type you are. And once you have identified your discipline habit, you're ready to tackle it. Now, in that back episode, it was mostly about overcoming resistance. And you overcome resistance by indulging yourself, not by pushing harder against something that is like a concrete wall, but rather by giving in to yourself, listening to your needs and meeting them. So indulging yourself and thereby using the soft approach to break through the resistance. Today we're going a step further and learning to develop how to develop discipline based on this type. Task number 2 is called the discipline habit. Now it's time to develop healthy discipline. And your next steps depend on your results from task number 1. So if you're the type of iron discipline, well done to you, but also listen to your own needs. Give yourself some time, practice self-care, and keep practicing your discipline, of course, but also regularly check in and make sure that the thing that you're trying to achieve with this iron discipline is still aligned with your goals and with your values and with what you actually want ultimately in life, because things can change sometimes and you can be so focused on keep staying disciplined that you don't realize that you're no longer pursuing what is your goal. If you're the type with no discipline, the type who has basically given up on yourself, start with baby steps. Start with really small commitments to yourself, like tiny actions that seem silly and ridiculous because it doesn't matter how big they are. If you commit to something and then do it, that will start building your trust in yourself and the trust that you need to know that you too can be disciplined. Keep building on that. Start with the smallest steps. When you start failing, go back and take a smaller step again. And keep building that confidence in yourself until you can actually develop healthy discipline. If you're the type who keeps trying and failing at discipline, you're the type that has the largest amount of internal monologue. The subconscious, your programming, the beliefs that you're trying to overcome by developing discipline are great at putting up a magnificent fight. And they do this by being really rational and by giving you lots of really good reasons on why you can't be disciplined today. Oh, I'm too tired today. Oh, today is this and that and the other, and I'm traveling, and there's no end to the very clear and rational reasons why you can't be disciplined. the way to combat that sounds very simple, and you might be tempted to dismiss it, but I implore you, don't dismiss it, because it's actually as simple as that. It's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. And it's basically, you can sum it up in Nike's way, just do it. What you do is you make a commitment to yourself that you're not going to listen to this internal debate any longer. You're not going to indulge the whys and wherefores and why not today, and maybe I am too tired today, will I or won't I? Like I said, it sounds simplistic. But once you make a commitment to yourself, once you make a decision that you're not going to indulge this internal monologue and just keep doing the action that you're trying to get disciplined about, it makes things so much easier. And that's when you get into an action habit and change that programming, that subconscious programming, and develop the discipline that's necessary. Remember, discipline consists of action, not of thoughts or words. Task number 3 is, as usual, to let me know. Hit the reply button and let me know where you stand, which is your discipline type, and what are your next steps. If you didn't get the link to this video in an email, that means you're not part of the Wild Spirits community yet, and you should join us. Go to wildspiritscoaching.com and fill in the little form there. You can also do a free life audit on that page, and if you fill in the form at the end of the life audit, one of the things that does is to subscribe you to Wild Spirits News. It's a 1 email a week newsletter, so 100% spam free. You'll get lots of extra information, additional articles, resources, so recommendations of books and other resources. And sometimes you get exclusive offers that are exclusive to my subscribers that nobody else ever gets to see. So go to wildspiritscoaching.com and sign up. You can also Google Wild Spirits Coaching. That'll get you to the website as well. Thank you for watching.